Have you noticed how we treat generations like reality TV characters? Boomers get blamed for the economy. Millennials supposedly destroyed entire industries with avocado toast. Gen Z is accused of living permanently inside a phone screen. And then there's that middle child of modern history that barely gets mentioned at all. Generation X, born between 1965 and 1980. The living definition of don't worry, it's handled. They're the coworker who fixes the spreadsheet, the printer, and the crisis before anyone finishes saying, "We should circle back." They're the parent who kept the lights on, showed up to your games, and never once made a social media announcement about it. They helped build the digital world, and then quietly chose not to overshare in it. Here's the fascinating part. From a psychological standpoint, they might be the most layered generation out there. Let's rewind to childhood. Latchkey kids. Not sometimes. Not occasionally. For millions of them, that was just daily life. Picture 1978. You're 8 years old. The bus drops you off. You walk home solo, unlock the door with a key hanging from a string around your neck, and step into a silent house. No parents, no babysitter, no texting, no FaceTime, no tracking apps, just you. Maybe a bowl of cereal, and a TV with a handful of channels if you adjusted the antenna just right. By the mid-80s, millions of kids between 5 and 13 were regularly home alone after school. That wasn't unusual, that was normal, and normal shaped them. They learned early that if something needed to be done, you did it. If you made a bad decision, you dealt with the fallout. There was no quick Google search, no instant message to mom asking for advice. Choices had weight, consequences were immediate. When parents came home, discipline wasn't a roundtable discussion. It was simple. You messed up, you faced it, lesson learned. Growing up like that wires your brain differently. You start thinking ahead. You anticipate. You plan for what could go wrong before it does. Gen X doesn't assume disaster. They just like being ready. But independence wasn't the only thing shaping them. There was also contradiction. They were told hard work equals security. Then they watched companies lay off loyal employees without hesitation. They heard speeches about commitment and stability while divorce rates climbed. The takeaway was quiet but powerful. Nothing is guaranteed. So they became realistic dreamers. They hope, sure, but they also prepare. Not out of cynicism, but out of experience. If you've seen the rug pulled before, you learn to stand steady. That same mindset explains their approach to privacy. It's not that they don't understand social media. Many of them were early adopters of the tech world. They just remember when mistakes faded instead of living online forever. When embarrassing moments stayed in the room instead of being archived for eternity. To them, broadcasting every thought feels less like freedom and more like exposure. So they observe, they scroll, they participate selectively. They don't need applause to feel validated. And let's talk about the humor. That dry, sarcastic, nothing shocks me tone. It didn't come from nowhere. They practiced nuclear drills in elementary school, literally ducking under desks while adults calmly explained what to do if the world ended. Imagine being told annihilation was possible at any moment, and then being sent back to math class like everything was fine. That kind of mixed messaging teaches you to cope with absurdity, to joke through anxiety, to stay a little detached so fear doesn't swallow you whole. That emotional distance? It's not apathy, it's self-preservation. Despite growing up with uncertainty, Gen X developed a serious work ethic. No motivational speeches, no hustle hashtags, just consistency. Paper routes at dawn, bagging groceries, running cash registers when you had to calculate change in your head because the system crashed. Those early jobs weren't glamorous. They were responsibility in real time. If you didn't show up, someone noticed. If you made a mistake, it mattered. Watching companies downsize loyal workers taught them not to worship corporate promises. So instead of chasing titles, they chased competence. Be skilled, be adaptable, be useful. If nothing lasts forever, at least make yourself valuable wherever you land. Here's the twist. They're fiercely independent, yet deeply loyal. They won't easily ask for help. They've been solving their own problems since childhood. But if you need something, they're there. No fanfare, no announcement, just action. Those instincts were forged in friendships that felt like family, When parents were working, friends became your safety net. Those bonds didn't fade easily. Authority? Complicated. Gen X respects skill over status. If you know your stuff, they'll follow you. If you're all talk and no substance, they'll quietly disengage. They grew up watching scandals, political chaos, and corporate missteps. They learned that titles don't equal competence. Financially, they've been through waves of instability. Recessions, crashes, market dips. So many of them diversify income not because it's trendy, but because experience taught them nothing is guaranteed. Stability is something you build, not something you assume. There's a trade-off to all that resilience. They're less likely to reach out for support during stress, not because they lack community, but because self-reliance became automatic. Asking can feel unnatural when you're used to handling it alone. Their relationship with information is different too. Before search engines, knowledge required effort. You had to go find it. Libraries, encyclopedias, waiting. That effort made learning stick. If something broke, you tried to fix it. You experimented. You figured it out with your hands. Now they're raising kids in a world of constant supervision and instant answers. They've given their children more presence and protection than they had. But sometimes they wonder if struggle built certain strengths that convenience can't replicate. At the end of the day, Generation X isn't superior or inferior. They were simply shaped by a unique moment in history. They grew up analog and matured digital. They experienced the shift between eras. They're the bridge generation. And bridges don't get trophies. They just hold everything up quietly. And honestly, that might be their defining trait. No need for credit. No demand for recognition, just doing what needs to be done and moving forward. If you're Gen X and that felt familiar, or if you finally understand that quiet parent or coworker a little better, welcome. Glad you made it.